my kittens. This is our cat's gay. How did we not see this coming? If you take Aaron Schock's last name and minus the S and the H, you get his favorite meal. No? Fine, I don't care. I'm probably going to hell anyway. In the somewhat and yet not at all real world of gay Twitter, there are rumblings about this former congressman, specifically from Jonathan Van Ness. You know, this guy. And by guy, of course I mean this deranged clown thing that has a penis, but instead of testosterone, his testicles apparently produce only estrogen and ketamine. From Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. It seems that Queer Eyes has an issue with Aaron Schock's popularity on Instagram, specifically with gay men. I know, look at him, isn't it shocking? But yes, Aaron Schock is popular with the gays, particularly after coming out officially after years of rumors. So what's the issue? Why does the bearded ladyboy have a problem with all this? Is this because of Schock's questionable use of campaign funds to jet set and redo his congressional office to look like Downton Abbey? Which is of course inappropriate, but let's be real. Naming a politician that hasn't taken money that was freely donated to them and used it as they saw fit, even if it wasn't technically legal, wouldn't be easy, because, well, every single politician since the dawn of money does this. No, the issue the bearded ladyboy has with Schock is that he hasn't atoned for his sins against the community. What are these sins? Well, besides being a Republican? Not much. Schock opposed gay marriage legislation, yes, but that's really not that important. People forget an elected representative is supposed to represent the will of his constituency, not his own views. Schock represented his conservative constituents that elected him to do just that.
But Katz, doesn't that make him a hypocrite? He voted against his own interests. He's gay, and he thinks or thought that marriage is between a man and a woman.
No, not really. It makes him a politician. It's what they do. They play chess, they make deals, all in an effort to navigate the Byzantine halls of power to get things done.
But Katz, doesn't that make you a hypocrite for defending him, for voting against your interests?
No, it makes me a pragmatist. I acknowledge that politics is an amoral game with many players, and rules of that game are very different from Twitter, drunken Thanksgiving dinner debates, or cable news commentary. Let's also be clear, opposing gay marriage isn't the same thing as opposing same-sex civil unions, which I cannot find a record of Schock doing. Most conservatives aren't in favor of same-sex marriage because it is a religious activity, and the government isn't supposed to be involved in religious activities. In researching Schock's record, it strikes me his record is actually rather bland. Considering the vitriolic response creatures like Queer Eyes have had, I expected to find he had voted to put gay teens in conversion camps. Instead, I found a man who seemed interested in advancing the economy while protecting classic American values, such as the right to bear arms. He was also staunchly pro-life. And this to me is part of the rub. Now that we know he's gay, his record is being recontextualized by the left. Before, he was allegedly a straight white male, which made his views evil but unsurprising. But as a gay, the explicit property of the left, his record is now evidence of deep treachery. Gays must be Democrats, they must vote as they are told, and they must be pro-abortion. Because anything related to pregnancy is so a gay man's problem, and not something that the lesbians like to crow about. Schock isn't a member of government anymore, but he's, as we established, objectively attractive, so it's not that weird that his Instagram is bumpin'. But it's more than his appearance that explains his popularity and his disdain by the bearded ladyboys. Aaron Schock is a man first, and gay by a distant second. He exudes masculinity, at least compared to the man-like cum golem. Queenie gays are drawn to manly men, and are often repulsed by femmes, at least on a sexual level. Cartoon characters like Jonathan Van Ness camp it up to get noticed because they can't compete or be noticed otherwise.
Beard glitter? Bro,
Because these creatures are hard to ignore, they often believe that they have power and many supporters, when really people are just staring at their incoherent screeching and trying to remember a time when their ears didn't bleed. Think back to Pete Buttigieg being criticized when kissing his husband for not being passionate enough, or that he's gay in name only. These are ridiculous ideas propped up by lispy loudmouths like Jonathan Van Ness, who are, if we're being real for a moment, probably jealous that they can't pass for regular dudes and that bro-type alpha gays aren't that into them. So they camp it up even more, throw around words like heteronormative, and make cringy BuzzFeed videos come out as HIV positive to fight stigma, because talking about a private medical condition is actually virtuous, apparently. And even appearing in Elizabeth Warren campaign videos like this.
This health insurance industry is a f***ing racket.
It felt right.
And then I was like, I'm Team Warren.
But we'll ignore the fact that she used to be a Republican.
Cats, grab the wheel, you're swerving.
I swear, there's a point to all this. There is a fundamental split occurring in the gay community, by which I mean male homosexuals, not the rest of the alphabet soup. People like Jonathan Van Ness are emblematic of gay collectivism.
We are LGBTQIA++ Alpha Romeo Chocolate Sunship community. We vote as we are told and like glitter.
And then there are people like Aaron Schock. He's not perfect, but he's an individual. He was involved in politics from a young age and lived life as he saw fit. No one could tell him to vote a certain way because of who he was, but rather he voted as he needed to maintain his role as an elected representative of a conservative district. The fact that he had to pretend to be straight to have this position as a conservative can be taken two ways. One, that he has conservative views and wanted to represent people similar, but did not want his identity to be a distraction or detriment to that. The other side of that coin is, as a conservative, he would never have been able to serve in the Democratic Party, gay or not. Either way, he was going to have to pretend, either to be straight to represent his conservative views, or pretend to be liberal to be a gay Democrat. Things have changed in one major respect, however. Gays are no longer a large concern for the Republican Party. Yes, there are still some people who don't accept us.
So are you saying that he has a same-sex partner?
He?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you kidding?
Yeah, he's married to him, yes.
Well, then I don't want anybody like that in the White House. So can I have my card back?
Oh wait, that was a Democrat. But mostly it's a settled issue. On the left, however, gays are still expected to conform to orthodoxy, which at this point is actually quite hostile to gays, transgender children, for example. The ever-expanding rainbow has become so toxic that people are becoming less accepting for the first time in decades, and gays are fleeing to the Republican Party so they don't have to be told to suck lady dick. It's also worth noting that it wasn't bigoted Republicans that outed and rejected Schock, but rather a supposedly nonpartisan organization like the Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington, or CREW, which incidentally rarely if ever takes any action against Democrats. Totally should not make you question their objectivity. Many are drawn to Aaron Schock not just because he's so much of an Adonis that even straight men be like, bro, looking good, but because he is a man, an individual who lived his own life according to his choices. He made mistakes, but personally, I don't find the fact that he is a conservative who didn't believe in gay marriage among them. And creatures like the Queer Eye should comb the beard glitter out and just shut the fuck up. Anyway, that's all for now. This has been Our Cat's Gay. If you enjoyed this video, please share it on social media. Like, subscribe, love it, hate it. You already watched it, you can't unwatch it. Thank you for watching.